Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Luke Owen and this is Wrestling News. As some of you may have noticed, this is my third WrestleTalk News in as many days, and as such, I wanted to open with a story that is interesting to me and about 5 other people, because while we've already had one Team Canada reunion this year already, one of TNA's greatest factions ever, when Eric Young returned to the company to team with Scott D'Amore, we've got another Team Canada reunion, this time in WWE. It was reported that Bobby Roode was likely stepping away from in-ring work full-time and will instead transition into a backstage producer role in WWE. He started this over SummerSlam weekend, and Fightful Select reported that he's been working on the Raw shows as well, and this week he shadow produced the Alpha Academy and Imperium matches alongside his former Team Canada teammate, the Canadian Destroyer, P.D. Williams. He also produced the Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa match alone for main event, but yeah, as I say, it's not really interesting news for anyone other than me and a handful of other people. Let me know in the comments down below if you're one of those people, but this is what happens when I do 3 WrestleTalk News episodes in as many days. Anyway, on to actual news, and we've got an update from yesterday's WrestleTalk News video, which clickbaited the hell out of you all by talking about Lacey Evans' teasers that she was leaving WWE. Well, the joke's on you, because it looks like she's officially left WWE. Evans last night posted to Instagram, "When the clock strikes 12, you will address me as Macy Estrella from here on out. Oh, and the jacket is up for grabs. Be on the lookout. She's a poet, and she didn't even know that she was rhyming those words. But it happened." The jacket, for those who are just listening to me rather than watching, shame on you, has her WWE name, Lacey Evans, on it. Also, I know at this point you're all expecting me to plug that I'm on Instagram now and you should all go and follow me, but I would never be that cheap. And then, as if to firmly confirm her departure from the company, she changed her Instagram profile to include formerly known as WWE superstar Lacey Evans. It has been protocol over the last couple of years for WWE to not make big announcements when someone is leaving the company, instead feeding that information to media outlets so they can report it instead. However, Fightful Select note WWE have not confirmed her release to us. There haven't been any internal notifications about it, and she hasn't been involved in any recent creative. While also not an official confirmation that she is gone, Evans, or Estrella now I guess, liked a tweet from a fan who said that WWE didn't deserve her anyway. But back to that official confirmation part, and it ties into the reports that Ronda Rousey has also left WWE for the second time, but there's not been an official announcement of that either. Instead, it's just been reported that her rushed feud with Shayna Baszler to lead to the SummerSlam MMA rules match was because she had told WWE that SummerSlam would be her last date with the company, as she wants to go back home and have another child. And this all brings us to Gable Steveson. On last night's NXT, Baron Corbin cut a promo saying that he took an Olympic gold medalist and ran him out the building, in reference to his feud with the Olympian Steveson. This, as eagle-eared watchers probably will note, is more or less the same verbiage that Baszler used to tell us, the audience, that Rousey is also gone. It ties into a report from Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter, which claimed all is quiet when it comes to Gable Steveson, and that it was curious that there was no follow-up to the Corbin match, even though it ended in a double countout. He added, when asking around about him after his debut match didn't go well as far as fan reaction, we were just told that nobody is talking about him. On Endeavor's earnings calls last week, who will be merging with WWE in the second half of September to form the new company TKO, CEO Ari Emanuel stated that plans are underway to make cost savings and synergies happen immediately upon the closing. And this has sparked some speculation that Rousey, Evans, and Stevenson's deals either not being renewed or cut are part of these merger cost-saving measures. Rousey and Stevenson, due to their name value, likely would have had high ticket prices on them. Stevenson came in with a lot of hype behind him, even being drafted to Monday Night Raw without having a single match, though he never made it to TV, with reports saying that he wasn't improving in-ring at the rate that WWE had expected, and he was moved to NXT, where he had his one and only match with Baron Corbin at the Great American Bash, which was heavily derided by fans. But we have to come back to that lack of confirmation. Meltzer also adds in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Stevenson is listed on the USA World Championship team for wrestling and is scheduled for competition in mid-September, so long as he can get approval from WWE. So perhaps this isn't Stevenson's departure from the company like Rousey and Evans, but more he's taking some time off to do the other thing that he does, and we'll be back in October. What do you think of all of this? Let me know in the comments down below. So Yep, it's time, everyone. It's time to take a dive into all of the latest CM Punk drama. Now, if you've been under a rock these past few days, here are some bullet point bits and bobs to try and get you up to speed as much as possible. So, after this past Saturday's Collision, CM Punk had a promo that indicated Hangman Page was not a draw and his merchandise didn't sell. It was later reported that this was supposed to be a joke but didn't land as one, and Punk felt bad about how it came out. It was also reported that at that same show, Hangman Page was banned from coming into the building to film a pre-tape, which brought about more stories of other wrestlers being booked for Collision and then told they couldn't come into the building, including Ryan Nemeth, Matt Hardy, and Head of Talent Relations, Christopher Daniels. There were also reports that Nemeth and Punk either had a civil or heated conversation, depending on which reports you want to put stock into, about Nemeth's Twitter comments alluding that Punk was the softest man alive, which was a response to Punk calling your favorite wrestler soft in both an ESPN interview and on television. And while there is no confirmation that it was Punk that blocked Matt Hardy from coming to Collision, it's been more or less confirmed that he did block Christopher Daniels. Believing that because Ace Steel, who was also involved in the Brawl-Out fight last year, isn't allowed to come to Collision, that it's only fair that Christopher Daniels shouldn't be allowed either because he broke up that fight and was part of the investigation. Despite reports that the Elite have no interest in working with Punk, it was being reported that his promo after Collision was a way of trying to start a program with the group. But according to Dave Meltzer, these sorts of promos make the idea of peace between them seem further and further away. And before you start your Dave hates Punk and loves the Elite comments, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has also added, those close with the Elite say that these situations make them want to distance themselves even more. Meltzer has added that this situation is a ticking time bomb in AEW, but there is more. Punk has reportedly apologized to Hangman Page via text message for everything that's happened in the last year, including, one would presume, going off script and calling him out on a TV show that he wasn't even booked for in an effort to make him look bad. It's also been reported that Page's pre-tape was never actually planned to be filmed in the same building as Collision, and that Punk was not even aware that Page was in town. And if he was aware, he would have brought him to the building to try and smooth things over. When the Battleground podcast asked Tony Khan about all this drama, he dodged the question, saying, I thought it was a great show on Saturday night. I don't have any further comments on that, but I'm very glad people are still interested in our wrestlers and what's happening after the wrestling shows. That's more excellent managing of the issue there, Tony. Right, is that everything? Have I covered everything? I mean, probably not. And guess what? There's now more. Because Fightful Select are reporting that Punk also had a confrontation with Jungle Boy Jack Perry about a backstage segment that Perry wanted to do that involved real glass. According to those close with Punk, he felt that Perry wanted to film a segment that would write him off TV because he didn't want to come into work the following week, which he perceives to be a big problem in the company. Those sources add that Perry had been advised not to film the spot by doctors, production, and Tony Schiavone, who would have been around for Goldberg breaking his hand and requiring surgery in WCW when he punched a car window. And Punk stepped in to say that this was a safety hazard. He then told Perry, according to Fightful Select, they don't do that on Saturdays, and if he doesn't like it, he can stay on Wednesdays. This discussion, or argument, depending on which side of the story you want to take, obviously became part of locker room talk, and sources told Fightful that Punk felt that Perry was having a temper tantrum over not being able to do whatever he wants. And as with everything in this Punk debacle this week, there have been two sides to every coin, and Brian Alvarez wrote on the Figure 4 message board, Jungle Boy had a vacation planned. He wanted to do a pre-taped angle with a car to write him off TV for that week. Punk told him no. He felt it was too dangerous to do a broken glass spot and said they cared about safety. Jungle was upset about that. That is very different from the story that Jack wanted to do a dangerous spot as a way to avoid having to do work. To get the final word on all of this, we should check in with our own heat magnet Helen Temperature to find out just how much heat Punk currently has in AEW.
There's not many things hotter. That's a 9.
Whew, we have gone long again today, so there's no time for the NXT 1 minute one take, but it was nice to see that Mustafa Ali finally got to do that gimmick that was scrapped before he asked for his release. Now, I'm going to read The Last Ronin with my good friend, British wrestling legend Kendo Nagasaki, while you go and check out yesterday's WrestleTalk News episode. And Damian Priest talked about how Finn Balor wasn't with them because there are troubles in the group. Look, I appreciate that, like a comic book, every episode of Raw is someone's first episode of Raw, so you need to recap stories and